Hello, we've had fabulous crowds all week here in the Alexandra Palace in North London. 1,700 seats. The capacity extended by 200 seats this year. Remember, the Crucible holds fewer than 1,000. And every single session we've been near or at capacity for this Dafabet Masters. And what they've been coming to see the last couple of days? Well, the semi-final stages are up for grabs. We saw Neil Robertson and Ronnie O'Sullivan go through to the first of those. And today, the other two berths were to be filled starting this afternoon.
This is very difficult.
No, I don't think he fancied that. Is it there? It's not there. Good shot, very good shot.
Oh, Joe. Could be his last shot.
It's been a bizarre match, Mark Allen. Well, he'll be absolutely delighted to get through to his second semi-final in the Masters. He wins the match 6 frames to 4.
Embarrassing would probably be the best word to describe it. For the first 8 frames, neither of us really done anything worthwhile, and it was just like a local league match in the club. That's what it was like for 8 frames, and I felt like if it went close though, I could hold myself together better than Joe, and it proved because I didn't miss a single ball I went for until he needed snookers in the last frame. So pretty proud of the way I came through, because it's probably a match I would have lost a couple of years ago.
So, all a bit of a grind, you have to say. Mark Allen thoroughly relieved to be into his second semi-final. But now to the vexed question of who he would face. And the last of the quarter-finals was a pulsating contest between two of the sport's leading men, the volcanic Stephen Maguire and the sports magician Shaun Murphy. Now, none of our experts really fancied picking a winner in this one. Little to choose between them, you see. Not much in age, experience or titles to separate them. Murphy has the superior head-to-head record and has won their last 3 matches. But having knocked out both Judd Trump and world champion Mark Selby in their opening round matches, both of these fellas would be very hard to stop.
I've known Shaun for 20 years, maybe even more. We grew up together, juniors, amateurs, and then turned professional around about the same time. So, you know, we know each other a lot, pretty well. Might not see eye to eye in some things, but apart from rivalry, and I think it's just rivalry on the table now.
Well, I think Stephen is, you know, he's such a gritty, determined player to play against. And he's also one of the few players that can beat anybody, even when they're not playing at their best. What he's got in sackloads is so much determination. He won't go away, and I'll have to play somewhere near my best to have a chance of winning.
Well, as you might have seen, Maguire was in unstoppable form early on. A total 137 clearance in the first and a 67 in the next put him 2 frames ahead. But Murphy hung in to win the next 2 and square it by the interval. This was warming up into a truly memorable contest. Into frame 5 then. Murphy, the former world champion, to play. Commentary from Steve Davis and John Virgo.
Not quite, and because he hit the red too thick, I asked the question, what has he left? I think the red just to the right of the pink is available. Just hit that too full, and that's why it took all the pace out of the cue ball. Chance for Stephen. Good solid pot, nicely on the pink. And immediately you'd think if he's straight on the pink, he'd want to be playing for that red just above the black. Get the black in play. He'd be a little bit disappointed there. Wanted to run through another
7.
3 or 4 inches, then it would have been ideal. It's a little bit careless. Can he pot this red and avoid kissing the black? He could just about, so he's back in perfect
8.
position.
$15. $16.
Chance here, should he so wish. Well, maybe he's a little bit too straight. I thought he could can into those 3 reds, but he's too straight on the black. He can just play for the red to the left of the black here. If he'd had a little bit more angle, he could have nudged into those 3 reds, and then all the reds would have been in possible positions.
23.
But he's got time to think about that a bit later.
$24.
I'm not happy with that. You've got to be a bit careful positionally. Whilst the reds are spread out, there's a few blocking each other's paths to the pocket.
$31. $32. $37. $38.
I don't think that's absolutely exactly as he played. He didn't want to be this side of the pink, he wanted to be the other side. So he's got a little bit of work to do with the cue ball. I mean, okay, he could run the pink in and cannon into those 3 reds, but it could go wrong. Played the cannon. It's not perfect. And he had no option but to play the cannon. He
44.
just overran his position on the pink. He can pop this red, but not certain where the cue ball's going to finish, I don't think. Kissed off the second red. As long as it stays short of the baulk line, he's okay.
Still got to get nicely on a red. It's not guaranteed here. Looks like it's got the weight perfectly though.
$48.
Would have been easy to have quit on that or overrun it.
$49.
So this is the last of the easy reds. Red and a pink.
55.
Put him 62 points in front, but still 75 remaining. Straight enough on the red, he could screw back for the black. Depends how he sees it. Wasn't happy with the contact
56.
and he didn't sound or look that good. I think there's a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, just took the pace out of the cue ball.
Looks like he's got the right angle. If he wants to cannon into the two reds that are close to the pink, he'd be very unlucky not to be on one of them. Doesn't have to play on those two. He played on them. He played to hit them. Obviously he knew he had the long red if he
63.
missed, but he wouldn't have expected to have missed such a big target as that.
Yeah, so having missed that cannon, this red and a colour needed. And he missed that by a long way. I think he was slightly hampered in his cueing by the yellow, but I didn't expect him to miss it by that far.
Well, Sean's got the chance of a long red into the yellow pocket. Yeah, he wasn't really settled on that shot. He's got a very, very thin snick into the middle if he doesn't like the outside long red. He'd be going for something here. I don't think he'll be holding back.
Yeah, I'm certain. 63 points behind, 75 remaining, so value of colours isn't that important. In the end, decided to play in the top with an element of a shot for nothing, but that red to the left of the pink was always going to be on to the right middle. Close, but not close enough. Solid pot, and any colour now above green.
One.
And it'll be snookers required. Sean Murphy knew he was always leaving a chance of that, but as you said, Steve, his situation, you just felt he wasn't going to refuse it. Looking at the scoreboard, Stephen, if he pots the brown, he'll get 68 points in front with 67 remaining. So making certain of the brown. And there you see it. One snooker needed.
5.
Hit that probably a little bit harder than he needed to, so that will encourage Sean Murphy to play on.
5.
But if he doesn't get a snooker, Stephen Maguire will be in front again. 3-2.
Yes, they did play on for another couple of minutes, but Maguire, it would appear, is simmering nicely, and he has taken a 3-2 advantage. But Murphy will not go away. He is 46 points in front in frame 6.
Well, as you said, that near jaw was begging to be hit. In the end, he thought, well, if I knock it in, I'll win the frame. Now he's not knocked it in. He's given every chance for Stephen Maguire to get right back in it. But as Steve mentioned a few moments ago, if that red near the right middle is tight against the cushion, not in a possible position, then that is one problem he's going to have to overcome.
Although if he did get correctly on the blue, he could play in off the red.
8.
Well, it looks like it's not viable to pot that, but he could certainly pot the blue
9.
off the red and shift it away from the jaw. So, whilst it doesn't look like a clear-cut opportunity, it could end up being a very easy opportunity. Just needs one shot to get correctly on the blue into the right middle.
16.
I think, though, for the time being, he'll just be concerned about reducing his arrears in this frame. Pot the black will put him 22 points behind.
There's the shot to try and get on the blue, I think.
24.
He would have liked it a fraction straighter. Underhit it. Only by a bit.
$25.
The red next to the brown isn't ideally placed. Doesn't go into the bulk pockets, but it's a very realistic opportunity here.
$28.
I mean, if you got right behind the red, it might go in the middle pocket, but I think it's close enough. You can pot the blue.
Well, I think if you were Sean Murphy and sitting in your chair also, you always look at the downside. I think it's odds against Stephen winning the frame at this visit.
$29.
I think Steve Maguire tried to shift the red into a more potable position there. It's actually quite an important shot. He messed up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked a nothing simple shot, and if he'd have potted that red and got the cannon, as you say, at the moment it's not available into the bought pockets, and it wasn't too difficult a cannon, was it? If he'd have caught that red and just hit it full ball, it would have still been on the green or brown.
It's a great shot. I don't think he can pot the red
34.
and move the red away. I don't think the red over the middle pocket is that close to the jaw.
$35.
Oh. He's going to be struggling now to play the shot I considered was on. Well, that's a very clever shot. Should he be trying to get on that blue?
37.
Into the right middle. Can he? He's just coming around to look at it now, I think. I hope I haven't completely messed up the situation in my own brain, but I think it's on.
$38.
Well, perhaps it was just too far away from the jaws. It He's not played it at all like I thought, but...
Well, it was a good effort to try and nudge the red
43.
into play, but I can't see him carrying on from here. But he's reduced his arrears to just 3 points.
At no time in that break, John, did he sort of telegraph looking at the possible pot off the blue? I can just assume it's not too far. It's too far away for the in-off, but
Maybe sometime if it's a bit too close to the cushion, you could get a double kiss.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he thought about it. But not everybody had your snooker brain, Steve.
Looking from that overhead. Oh, thanks. But perhaps it was just too far away. Clever shot, though.
Well, you say that, but is the room past the brown? I think there is. I think Sean Murphy can get through to this red. All about fractions. And all about potting this red. And in it goes. We have a new favourite for the frame. This is snooker of the highest quality. Tremendous pot, this one. Obviously the yellow passes the brown. 6 points the lead.
3.
Needs up to and including the blue.
Five.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. Green, brown and blue required. He's just a bit concerned. He'd like to have been straighter on the green. He can play for the brown in the same pocket as the green, but he's just worried if he leaves the potting angle where he has to pot the brown and he's got to avoid a kiss on the pink. That could spoil his position for the blue.
Eight.
But he won't worry about kissing into the pink now. He's played that perfectly. And the blue now
12.
to go 20 points in front with just 13 remaining. No heroics here. Well, we're seeing big breaks, we're seeing tight frames. And, well, he didn't drop, but I'm certain Stephen Maguire will say that's enough. And he does do. Well, we've got a great match on. And it's still nowhere near clear who's going to win it. Stay with us. It's 3 apiece.
Yeah, nothing between them, but so far it's the former United Kingdom champion Stephen Maguire who's made the chunkier contributions. He's the heavier scorer with that magnificent 137 and 2 other 50-plus breaks. In fact, he's on another one now in frame 7, 54.
Well, he went for it, but he may regret it because he's left a chance of a long pot.
Clever shot, though. Very clever shot.
Yeah, it was close, but as I say, he's left a chance of a pot. And the way Sean's been knocking them in, it's a risky thing to do.
He's striking the ball as well as I've ever seen him strike the ball. What a hit.
Now, what do you play here, Steve? Do you play the green and try and cannon the 2 reds just in between the pink and black?
It's a good chance. And obviously if he misses, he may be on the red on the top cushion.
Played it well. Played it well. It's as good as he could have hoped for.
4.
what a steal this would be. It's by no means certain. Just.
5.
It's good enough, good strike. And retain control of the cue ball on the blue. That red on the right side cushion isn't really in a puttable position into the middle. May look it on the TV, but quite an acute angle. So he'll be trying to drop in behind that if he gets a chance.
10.
He's got a lot of work to do yet.
11.
He'll have to play for the red near the middle. I don't know whether he can possibly nudge it towards the right centre pocket. May just have the angle to do that. And he did, and he couldn't have played it much better. Just bounced a fraction more than he wanted, but I think it's still cuttable.
And he didn't
17.
have the angle to drop in behind it. So he played a very clever, controlled cannon. Position on a colour's not going to be guaranteed to get easily onto that red on the top cushion.
Yeah, the one thing he's got to avoid doing here in potting this red is avoid the kiss on the brown. And he didn't. Well,
18.
he's not going to clear up at this visit, but he can play a telling snooker. Disappointing to hit the brown so full.
Ground ball. Sean Murphy, 18.
Well, there's two ways of playing this dead weight, or just trust the luck and hope you get the red safe. If he plays, he's played it hard. Now needs a bit of luck. Left a chance of a pot. Not much you can do about that. For all the skill that's in the game when you're snookered, you trust the luck whether you get it safe, but it still needs potting. Was there ever any doubt? Well, as you said earlier, what a steal this would be, and I'll say the same thing again, Steve. This would be a frame that would really hurt Stephen Maguire. This is a proper match. Both players playing well.
3.
And this a golden opportunity now
5.
to clear the remaining colours and take the lead for the first time in the match.
Eight.
The only slight difference is that the black's on the pink spot and the pink's on the black spot. But you wouldn't think that would cause a
12.
problem.
$17.
Inch perfect. Well, Stephen, you've nothing to be upset about yourself, because Sean Murphy potted some long balls there that were the highest quality. As I say, it will hurt Stephen Maguire, but Sean Murphy potted some balls in that frame, and now for the first time in the match he leads 4 frames to 3.
Some pretty stunning long potting, wasn't it? But Sean could not get away for long. Maguire took the 8th with another sizable break of 75, and we're all square again at 4-all. Frame 9 started with a re-rack, and we're now into it for real with the Scot, 15 points behind.
Well, the more you get near the winning line, the more you're going to get the tension. And the atmosphere is has been tremendous all evening. But they've made the game, as I said earlier, look so easy at times, and it isn't that easy, as anyone who's ever played it will tell you. He's left a red. He needs a good cue ball here. And that's not perfect. And there's a chance of a pot for Stephen. Don't get me wrong. It's fraught with danger if he misses it, because the reds are spread far and wide. And there's no guarantee of being on the colour.
Yeah, I think his odds against getting on the colour.
If you are, make certain of the pot.
I think it's worth hitting with a bit of pace, that's for certain, to try and make something happen with the cue ball.
Well, I was going to say he's developed the pink, and the reds got in the way.
Well, with the scores at 4-all, this is a very big blue he's going to be taking on. It's very gettable, but effectively now in a best of 3,
Blue ball.
it's a big pressure shot.
And it just shows you sometimes that when he developed the pink, I thought he's going to be on an easy pink to the middle. But the red came and covered it, and there was heaps of pressure on the blue.
One.
Number of reds blocking the path for other reds, but he should be able to sort something out. How do you get through the gap there?
Yeah, well, he's on a red, but
Yeah.
I think this is the last one he wanted to be on.
Yeah,
7.
He expected to be in the middle of the table somewhere. This is missable. He didn't want a missable one.
But it never looked like missing, did it? Right in the heart of the pocket.
His potting's been very crisp. Wouldn't be nice for Sean
15.
if the pink went into the left corner. Because at the moment, playing on the black,
16.
he's a little bit limited because of that red to the right of the black.
I'm sure that's the one he'd like to play on here, but he's a little bit closer to the cushion than he would like. Oh, but he's cued it beautifully. He's a wonderful cueist, is Sean Murphy. He really is.
23.
We've seen the best of him tonight.
He's had a great season. He's been knocking in 147s.
24.
For fun. He really does look on top form. And a disappointing Masters last year here, I think. Certainly turned things around quite nicely within the year.
Wrong side of this red, but he's okay. Go up to the baulk cushion, play for the blue. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Well, he's decided to play for yellow or brown. I thought it wouldn't be a bad thing to get the blue on its spot. His choice.
We're on ball.
So well struck. Just beautiful
36.
cueing. When you can hit the ball that crisply and accurately, makes the
37.
game a lot easier.
Now, I think the angle he's got, he's going to have to play a little cannon here on the middle of these three reds. You wouldn't think it could go wrong. Just a little cannon on that red. Well, he's overscrewed it. You may think, well, okay, maybe he's played for one of those other reds, but... Well, maybe
44.
he did. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't play a cannon early on in this frame that I thought was a certainty to play, and maybe he overscrewed that one as well. I don't know. Anyway, that puts him in the snooker's required stage. 66 points ahead, 59 remaining, nicely on the red. He's going to go in front again, but this time just one frame away
53.
from that place in the semi-final. Well, Stephen, you played well. Sometimes
61.
you've got to hold your hands up and say your opponent is really punishing you, but it's not over yet, believe me, because Stephen Maguire will dig in. He's a scrapper.
68. $69. $76.
Well, it's been a fantastic match and a great performance by both
77.
players, but Sean Murphy is stealing the show here, especially after losing the first two frames.
Yes, Stephen will
83.
be ruin that blue he missed, but then on another day he'd have had the easy pink to the middle,
85.
and then he may have taken these balls as Sean has. Blue and pink. This will be the 23rd century, and it looks
97.
absolutely inch perfect. What a beautiful shot that was. As you could say about most of his positional shots during this visit. This is sensational stuff, folks, I tell you. Well, playing a trick shot. Hang on, middle pocket. Oh, unlucky. But another 103 break from Sean Murphy. He made one in frame 3, and he's repeated it. And as I said, he's now one frame away from a place in the semi-final. He leads Stephen Maguire by 5 frames to 4.
Yes, as John says, now on the verge of a 4th semi-final at the Masters in as many years. But does Glasgow's snooker firebrand have yet another answer to him in frame 10? He's going to have to do this, Maguire, from 33 points behind.
Back against the wall. What can he produce? When it's going wrong for him now.
Yeah, it was one of those. If you pot it, you'd run round nicely off 2 cushions, but the dreaded double kiss. And what's worse, it's left a nice easy starter for Sean. Just got into that cue ball a little bit too much. He's not as good in the pink or black as he wanted to be here. So maybe Sean just feeling it a touch now. A little bit of tension in the arm. Understandable. But recovered nicely. Good solid pot on the pink.
And he made that look a lot easier than
7.
it was. There was a lot of angle in that shot, and he held the cue ball to perfection. Stephen
8.
Maguire's only hope is that Sean Murphy can't get this pack open. Continue potting them. Steve Maguire desperately hoping he's not on a red. He's on one to the middle pocket.
15.
This red in the middle, arguably a frame winner. There's a little bit more work to do. The pack of reds opened that nicely. Just
16.
It was a more acute angle than it looked on our TV screens, as you could see from that side angle. He's got that red over the corner pocket if he doesn't like any other type of position, John.
Yellow ball.
Yeah, Stephen Maguire back in his seat, hoping against hope that he does get back to the table. Got a nice angle on this
18.
red to the left corner. He'll be using the rest, but he's very good with the rest. And just plain ball, run round off 2 cushions, or stun it in. I always prefer to run it in personally. And that's why I always feel when you run them in, you just give the ball a bit more chance. So Stephen Maguire now, what have you got left, Stephen? 51 points behind, 83 available.
Well, it wasn't the best positional shot from the yellow, but I still expect him to get it. What a chance for Stephen Maguire. He's got to concentrate on getting right on this.
1.
I think the thing is, when we saw Stephen make that 75 break in the 8th frame, he was running out of position a lot. He needs tight control of the cue ball this time around.
His opening cannon has to be good on the reds here. That could unlock this frame. Well, it's not perfect, but he's got a sniff at one.
Could have been better, couldn't it? Could have been a lot better.
Perhaps a little harder would have helped, but a lot of tension out there. Now a very thin cut. I think the thin cut's on.
He's got an easy safety though, hasn't he? Off the red that's closest to the cue ball. He's been given a lifeline. Doesn't want to throw it back by taking on something too risky.
He's obviously not happy with cueing over the top of the ball. Thought he might just have been able to get to the side of it. Oh, doesn't look like he's going for a shot. Surely he must take a chance to pot. Oh, not into the green pocket. Oh.
No. To me,
Stephen Maguire, 8.
that was just pushing the bolt out a little bit too much. I know the modern players think, well, get one chance and win the frame from it. But that was odds against for me. So Sean Murphy has a chance now to clinch the frame and match. And it looks likely now.
was another great pot, made to look very easy by Sean Murphy. OK, perhaps Stephen Maguire faltered a bit towards the end, but
8.
What a performance by Sean Murphy. It's only down to the fact that Sean has played so well that he put the heat on Stephen Maguire. Not many players could have done that to him.
No, absolutely agree with you. Sean Murphy, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Sean Murphy, in the UK Championship just before Christmas, he lost to Marco Fu, and he played absolutely unbelievable. And how he lost that match, I don't know.
15.
And that's why we questioned at the time about Sean getting over the winning line. But boy, he's played well tonight.
Sets everything up wonderfully for the semi-finals. We have 4 players who have produced some marvellous
22.
snooker during some of their matches in this Masters.
23.
Try and pick a winner.
Well, just look forward to tomorrow.
What a day that's going to be of snooker.
30.
Well, it's not there, is it? No, but it doesn't matter. Stephen will shake his hand and say, very well played. And he'll mean it. And it was. Well, what a treat those 2 players have given us tonight. And there's a congratulations from the audience. Stephen Maguire played some superb snooker, but it wasn't enough because the magician was at the top of his game, and he's through to the semi-final of the Dafabet Masters with a fantastic win. 6 frames to 4.
I came here to try my best and make a good start to the the new year, and I was very, very ill over Christmas, New Year. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I worked hard in the few days before I came to London, and I'm very, very pleased to still be batting. Stephen, is coming back to something like his best form. A few years ago he was extremely dangerous, gave me a few good hide-ins along the way, and for us all, there's worrying signs if Stephen starts to find his best form. And I've watched him very closely. I knew it was going to be a tough game, and it was a really good match of snooker. Don't think there were many mistakes along the way. I didn't think there were many unforced errors. I think the stats of the match would be quite high, and I think that's what the crowd pay their money to come and see. And on another day, I'd be sat here as the loser, but today, I'm the winner.
Well, there's confirmation of our Fab Four in North London. World number 1 Neil Robertson in awesome form as he faces the defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's been no slouch himself. Whilst Northern Ireland's Mark Allen appears in his 2nd Masters semi-final against Sean Murphy, who is playing in his 4th in a row. Well, Snooker Extra follows next, but Ronnie O'Sullivan has already, taken his centuries count into the stratosphere this week. Blast off for him and for Neil Robertson and for us is at 1 o'clock on BBC One tomorrow afternoon. I really hope we can catch you then. Good night.